Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon for the latest film interviews, features, and recommendations on the movies that matter. Sona Mahapatra, so good to see you. Sona, how are you doing in these times?
I think I might piss off people saying this, but these are learning times. I think time to revisit a whole set of choices. And as an artist, I think it has helped me build a brand new perspective as to going in the coming days is going to be a whole new world. So I feel selfishly very lucky because I, of course, have the privilege of this beautiful home. Also lucky that my film managed to have its biggest premieres, a couple of premieres. Right now we are at Hot Docs. It's an online premiere happening there. Yeah, and I'm finally happy that you got to see the film.
But it's a very powerful film.
Thank you.
It's a, I want to put it into context. I want
Thank
to
you.
first place context. Sona, most of the world, of course, knows you in your identity as a singer. You've got this incredible full-throated voice. You've got this brilliant, you're gifted. You have this voice, and you've done these incredible songs. Some of my favorites are, of course, Ambar Sarya. I think that's everybody's favorite, and I really love Jia Lage Na from Talash. But of course, you've also done a lot of independent songs, and there's a whole catalog really that you've created. Apart from that, those of us who are on social media, of course, know you as someone who uses that voice also to call out sexism, to call out inequality, to call out where you feel there's an unfairness or an unjustness. You called out Anu Malik and Kailash Kher at the height of the Me Too movement. You called out Salman Khan for that very irresponsible rape analogy that he made. Of course, that has cost you, in your own words, that has cost you, dearly. It's cost your career. You've said there have been professional setbacks, but also, of course, you've got the incessant trolling that you can't seem to escape. There have been threats. There have been death and rape threats. And then, of course, you made the film, which documents all of this, which is, of course, very cheekily called Shut Up Sona.
Yeah, and although the list of everything that you shared seems like a lot of doom and gloom, I feel proud of the opportunity. Very few people understand my idea of what an artist is. It's not about just singing a song or learning your craft. Those are given. You have to be undeniable at what you do. You need to put in time, and I've done that. And a sense of pride comes from the fact that I feel I'm undeniable when I go on stage. I mean, Bombay is not really the place that even understands what a concert and a concert artist does, but I believe I'm one of those few who can blow your mind away, and which is why the sense of confidence comes. That it's such a privilege to have this platform. I can't just merely want to perform my hit songs, and you have good taste that Jia Lage Na. Everybody just knows the obvious one.
That song. I love that song.
I feel thank you so much, and I feel very proud of the fact that I have not only sung, I own my visual communication. I've produced all my music videos. I have always backed a certain vision. Right now, for example, I'm putting out the India's first art music collaboration, because in these times I feel paintings and good aesthetics are something we don't talk often about, or we don't even know what an important role it plays. And people who are cinema buffs like you would know. I mean, when I watch Raise the Red Lantern or say that that's my favorite film, aesthetically it's
just stunning.
Engaged with me. It has inspired me, and it's helped me connect the dots in so many different ways, or why Almodovar plays such an important role, and why I grew up in a very conservative background. I didn't even understand what being gay was about till I was 20. But when I figured it, and one of my first band members was a she was Chitra, and now she's Krishna. I was curious. I always knew that, that justice bent, saying that I might not understand it, but I'm curious enough to know more. And I would always stand for, everybody getting a fair chance. So that seems to be, it's been a driving force for me. Making the film, and, for the longest time, Rajiv, I must tell you, I had lot of well-wishers like Guneet, and, their friends, Guneet Monga, Seleke. Don't put your name as producer, because, there is this whole... I'm not making a hagiography. If you've seen the film, I mean, I come across flawed also. I'm not all sorted. And yet I'm willing to engage and evolve. And that film, I didn't really at all interfere. I might say this proudly, with Deepti, who's a dear friend of mine. Again, a cinematographer who has done brilliant work. But as for me, has had the similar kind of obstacles as she is gone, one of the
Right.
first DPs in the country, but really didn't see a whole lot of work coming her way. And in a sense, we found a parallel in our journey as people who are seeking to express ourselves. So, but we live in good times, Rajiv. Ours is a documentary, and documentary as a feature length documentary is not even understood very well as a genre in India. And yet, it's a valid enough narrative. And what valid? I just feel, let me just put it out there. I'm proud to say that right now the country and the world is changing so quickly
Yeah.
that the youth, specifically, we're such a young country, they're tuned into the world outside. And thankfully, thanks to them, despite the Salman call out, despite all it would have taken is an apology. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have anything personal against this guy, but I feel I have this opportunity to use all this symbolically, and the country is listening in. I have 200,000 people show up in my concerts, not in Mumbai because our infrastructure doesn't seem to support it. But I constantly tour. I get the love of these young people, and it's my chance to affect change. And no better way to do it than tell it on film, because
Yeah.
it's one of the, it connects my loves for history, for travel, for
Correct.
being a stage performer, being an artist who is inspired by the legends of, we've had them, it's
Yeah.
not only around the world that you have a Nina Simone or a Harry Belafonte or even
Right.
George Michael, who stood for things beyond just entertainment and making big houses and driving fancy cars. I have a chance to, join this community of artists who have impacted change with their work, with their voice. And of course, I love having Bollywood mainstream hits.
Right.
And I count on the fact that for all the allies that are wary of working with, me, but I am taking charge of my own narrative. If I can make a film, maybe I can create more content from a perspective, and the world is open to that. So I'm
But do
very
you
gung
find
ho.
that? Do you find that people are wary of working with you? Do you find that this rabble rouser reputation, if you like, that you've acquired? I'm going to tell you something. I was speaking to a very prominent woman in the entertainment industry, in the film business, and she said, Sona Mahapatra is a rebel without a pause, not cause, pause. She says she probably wakes up every morning and finds a new person or a new issue to go after. And I think that's a little unfair. Not a little unfair. I think that's quite unfair, because I think that the causes that you've gone after or the issues that you've gone after are very valid. But the question I want to ask you is when the frequency of that is as it has been in your case, when you stand up for so many things, or you call out so many unfairness, so many instances of inequality or unfairness, does that give you this troublemaker reputation?
I'm sure it does. At the same time, right now we live in times where the Twitter feed seems to feed a lot of lazy journalism also. They
True.
tend to amplify only a certain kind of,
Yeah.
one tweet out of context defines me. I have never had a PR agency for the longest time. And I've consistently put out art, music, material, original stuff, backed other newcomers, backed other directors who've never got a chance to shoot a video. So I wake up every day and spend, in fact, 90 minutes, 90% of my time doing what I do very well. And then the one thing that gets amplified, and whoever the lady or gentleman was who feels this way must know that thankfully, every time there's an issue, yes, this we need to call it out. That's how
Yeah.
change happens. I'm
Correct.
not going to be selective and cherry pick. I've also had very successful friends and people we know, like when a Preeti Zinta, who really can take some few chances, goes on to an interview and says, Kal ki sweet too, aaj ki meet too ban sakti hai. I mean, it is so disgusting that you are joking about something like this. I would much rather be the rebel without a pause, because in a sense, as long as I don't stop working, creating music, creating things with my own hand, taking responsibility for the fact that I create art, that's dominantly what I do, and then pleasing everybody else, navigating the, I think there are enough and more of, which is why nobody really spoke up
Right.
when it came to the Me Too movement. I mean, come on, we are all aware of a lot of things, but nobody
Of
really
course.
spoke up. And I understand. I have the empathy to understand that very clearly we are still in a landscape where we don't have too many women in the trenches. I mean, we have them in journalism, which is why they supported it. Media supported it. But when it comes to our own community, somebody even as amazing as a Vidya Balan, who's such a, I know of her even personally, fabulous. Thanks to her, we got our CBF. I think she was one of the persons in a censor board certification, kept getting rejected, and finally we got accepted. She said the most wonderful things about the film. Yet when she gives out an interview in NDTV, which reeks of privilege or reeks of God knows what, where she says, I was always dignified. I never got any of those things. And I was never desperate for work that I had to compromise. I mean, maybe she didn't realize what she was saying, what it also implied is everybody who's had to compromise because of a systemic issue is because that, you're victim shaming. And when you victim shaming, you don't even necessarily know it. She's a wonderful person whom I've met very often. And yet it didn't stop me from calling her out saying, you are in a position of success and privilege. You cannot not understand the complexities, the nuances of what's happening around the world. And in Hollywood and in the West, it worked because we had women as producers, writers. We can't do without women right now. Yet here, it's mostly the pretty faces waiting for the opportunities. You need to always be, while growing up, Rajiv, I must tell you this. I used to watch Aishwarya Rai on her interviews. I knew of her to be a very bright, intelligent, and of course a super achiever. And I'd met her. She wouldn't remember even as an architecture student. She was brilliant as a kid. And yet, when I started seeing her in her interviews, I used to see her giggle uncontrollably and not really speak the way I would have expected as a teenager, or somebody growing up young to look up to. And it had made me wonder that what is it that the mainstream does to our women, that they are supposed to, in a sense, be a certain way to negotiate and get along. And I even then had the empathy saying, I know her to be much brighter than how she's portraying herself. But the industry wants her to be a certain way to be more, acceptable and amenable. Fortunately, we don't live in those times, where we need to necessarily always walk that, because change and change makers are the ones who step out, however immodest it might sound. I just feel if I were to toe the line, I'll probably build a fancier house or buy 2 more cars, but I've done well for myself and I own the fact that I've done it. Success on your own terms is the most valuable success for me, not when it is so compromised. Integrity being compromised and then you get successful. Okay, I think I'm just going to bore people with that. Can we?
No. It's an interesting point that you make, and also, I mean, I see it. You see it in the film. You see that that it's something that strikes your husband as well. Your husband is of course Ram Sampath, the composer, and he's telling you in the film, take a pause, think about it, spend a day to think about it before firing off a missive on social media. So, does that how does that make you feel when you're constantly told, shut up, think about it, hold back, it's hurting you? And are the setbacks that you face as a result of this, are they worth it? Do you tend to think about that?
I do, because there are days when I feel very vulnerable, when I feel that when your allies are slipping away altogether, and despite the idealistic, naive, call it naive, but there is a belief that if we are so talented and so hardworking, because Ram, I say so myself, is like a genius. When his soundtracks in Talash, in Delhi Belly, in Satyamev Jayate, they are undeniable. They are undeniable. His work stands for, his background scores are like a character in a film, though I say so myself. And yet, why is it that Ram doesn't do more work? Well, he's selective to start with. I'm glad for that. At the same time, he's a man of his own. I mean, I think I might have spoiled things for him also in a lot of relationships. But thankfully, we both believe that we have one life and we need to stand for what we believe in. And yes, sometimes I think I tire him out also, as you might have seen. But he's a voice of reason in my life. And I also, I think I do a lot for him. It's truly a partnership. True. So we stand by each other. At the same time, yes, we go through vulnerable moments and we go through vulnerable days when we wonder whether it's what, sometimes, Rajiv, I'll tell you the one discovery I've had. I'm constantly evolving. I hope I am. In the lockdown, I've had time to even revisit a lot of the so-called sisterhoods. Right. I've just wondered, Ram has, we have these conversations, and I believe conversations change lives. Even in the public domain, it's worth it all. And public intellectuals of any kinds are anyway. So I'm not saying I'm one, but any kind of a nuanced conversation is so tough to come by on social media. You know. So I look for that when it comes to my partner. And he makes me think, like yesterday he asked me, how many of those women that you keep fighting for do you think really deserve it? How many of them are even, standing up for their own? And these are tough questions. I
Yeah.
sometimes feel the same women judge me so quickly over that one tweet I wrote about I wanted to instigate push buttons to have a
Correct.
conversation. And I was written off by those blue ticks almost immediately. Islamophobe, this, that. I said,
Yeah.
really? 10 years you have viewed me, you've been in the sisterhood. We shouldn't have stood up for you, for me to. How is it linked? And what kind of a. And then I wonder, was it worth it? Was it really worth it? Losing all my hair. I was kicked out of a reality show overnight because I was again this troublemaker. God knows who she's going to speak about next. Truth is, I've never really. I don't shoot my mouth off. If anybody watches me, it is a considered decision most often than not. Sadly, that's the only thing that gets picked up in media, which is why I thought it was important that now I make an effort to maybe hold back. Yesterday, I literally deleted my Twitter and Facebook app on my phone, saying I'm still on the platforms, but I need a break. I need a break. I don't need to carry the burden of the world and have to opine about everything. And the
Right.
film also is a love letter to India. If people notice, it's
It
not
is
just
the
about
traveling,
activism or.
those moments that you spend at the dargah. I mean, talking about Amir Khusro. In fact, what I really enjoyed about the film is that sort of the manner in which you connect the past and you connect, our history. I mean, you're listening to the music of. I mean, you're performing the songs of Amir Khusro. You're talking about Mirabai and that beautiful conversation where you're talking about how our in the public space, so to speak, the we see Mirabai as, of course, the devotion and the commitment to Krishna, and all the songs are mostly songs of devotion and commitment and unwavering, loyalty. But there were songs where she was assertive, which have been suppressed over the years. And I thought those bits were
Sensual,
incredible. Yeah,
erotic, and she was a subversive artist. She used her art in the cultural context of her times, but she was saying very brave things. But it had to come under the thing of Krishna Bhakti, because we are comfortable with women who
correct.
have that domesticated Bhakti lin side to them. But yet, she was singing about the social evils of her times, Sati. She
Yeah,
was questioning the whole idea of Sati. She was, in fact, blasphemous in her declaration of love for another man when she was married to someone else. She also wrote a lot of sensual erotic poetry, and for me she has been this rebel rock star who is, preaching the thing of, not preaching is horrid. I mean, she's spreading the concept of egalitarianism. She's questioning the caste system. Those are very brave things to do. But and we are not comfortable with women like that. And
yeah,
I feel, and we were not even comfortable with Kabir. We even had an issue with. So I just feel we have a lot of those artists who have, always at various phases in time, not being the favorite of, they're not popular demand, they are not the most popular, but we talk about them right now. And those are the energies which inspire me. And I'm not saying I'm anything like them, but I would want to have heroes which maybe are different from others. I'm okay with that. And we also live in times we're constantly tuned into only the worst of the news that comes our way. I mean, fake news is the thing right now.
yeah.
Like just before I traveled to a Jhansi and a Aligarh Mahotsav just in January before the lockdown, huge concerts, government concerts. And the NH7s and all the so-called woke liberals are not dying to take up a woman like me. But I must give credit where it's due. I was headed to these Mahotsavs and I was getting all my woke friends telling me, don't sing that Qawwali thing that you do. Don't do the Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Saab thing, because, nationalism is right now, blah, blah. You will go to UP and they will lynch you and you don't take a security chance. All this Gyan advice, well wishers. Guess what? I went there. Nobody questioned me about आप क्या 5 star में जा रहे हैं, 15 लोग रह रहे हैं. I'm the star who's going there. Government officials coming to meet me, district magistrate. They could have told me आप क्या गा रहे हो, नहीं गा रहे हो. That censorship that we are all.
Correct.
Nobody asked me anything. I went on stage and said my job is to question the order, not to just. I'm not the one with words necessarily that work. I did a 45-minute ode to the genre of Qawwali. And I said, Nusrat Saab, he is a hero of artists from across the globe. Here's my ode to Nusrat Saab. Standing ovation. I had a 3-hour concert. So much love. And of course, some people might have felt uncomfortable, but that news was not carried. that victory for music and for an artist who's standing for something which is much. So, if I take a centrist stand, say on a CA NRC,
Yeah.
I mean, that, like, I don't have to opine about everything. And I'm experiencing things as an artist. I'm actually traveling to the tier 2 towns.
Right.
I'm facing concerts of 2 lakh people where the demographics are so varied from here to there. I just don't sing film hits, which is the easiest ticket to
Of
an
course.
easy show. I
Right.
perform my own music. I reinvent folk music of that land. I will learn poetry and, the culture of that particular place to present it in context. That's a lot of hard work. I do it every day. And I see good and the bad. So I don't see any mass, even politically, as, all bad, all good. And I have a
Okay,
right to
sure.
this opinion because I'm experiencing it.
There are moments in that film that really sort of stayed with me. There's this one moment where you say, obviously in a vulnerable moment, you say that Chandi, the goddess Chandi, which is of course the disruptive one, you've said that that name was used as a taunt on you growing up. I mean, it's something that,
Yeah.
that you were familiar with and something that was directed at you from your early years.
Yeah, and it was hurtful because I come from Orissa, which is a fairly conservative but it's a beautiful land. And first of all, having 3 daughters was something my mother could never live down, no matter the fact that she was a bread earner, she was a national scholar, she was a professional all her life. But I always saw her holding the shorter end of the stick. And in that, everybody would say that, ये बीच की जो लड़की है ना, ये इसका तांडव बंद करो यार, चंडी है. And I spent all my time fighting for her because I just thought, why is life so much tougher for her? It just seemed, and I at that point of time, and to the longest time, I think till few years ago, was never aware of these concepts of patriarchy, feminism, first wave, second wave. I mean, मैं तो केंद्र विद्यालय में पढ़ी बड़ी हूँ. 5 rupees a month was my fee. We shifted every 2. I didn't go to fancy schools and colleges. I went into an engineering college, which was so deeply disturbingly misogynist that you will not believe. We had 8 girls to 300 guys, and we would just deal with feeling ashamed about even our breasts every day. Dupatta yahan pe pehno. I used to ride a mobike, Rajiv, and I used to host a business show for our television channel there because I was this extracurricular key champion, debating, basketball, horse riding. And in that, I used to deal with graffiti all over the walls in my college where I'm standing with a penis peeing because apparently if I'm driving a bike, I must be hiding that inside of me. And right now it sounds okay. But at that point of time, the insinuations always were, she's doing a TV show, she must be sleeping with the guy or she must be sleeping with the MP who's a financier and the producer of the show. And it was like, but I'm so good. Why do I have to keep proving myself? And it builds you up. Then I stood for elections, threats, stabbings, God knows what. So being a woman like me has always been, well, challenging but exciting.
Right.
And you also keep questioning yourself, saying, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I should tone it down. But you know what? Nobody asks guys to tone themselves down. They celebrate all these so-called abilities and successes. In my case, it would always worry the boyfriends I had. It would always make them feel insecure, intimidated, God knows what. And which is why I just think we live in times when all that has changed. A voice like mine gets to sing beautiful ballads. Naina and Khubsurat many years ago would go to only a Koel voice. But right now I know nobody else could have sung Naina. Bedardi Raja, where I carry a bass guitar and I'm in a sari with a choti. I'm badass, but I am. And I had an Amir Khan who said, yes, you should be in the video.
Correct.
You wear those combat boots and you do this fusion stuff, belt with sari. Tu karna apna. And which is why I'm saying there are fantastic people in the industry too who get what I am. And I have lots to be very grateful for. I have a Ram who so-called deals with this. And that's the thing. Everybody's like, kaise sehta hai, kaise bhogta hai. I'm like, bhai, he loves me. मैं भी बहुत उसके लिए करती हूँ, वो भी करता है. And we are together because we seem to value each other in terms of what we bring onto the table. So, and the thing about films like documentaries is like, I have not felt, I wish I could have looked prettier. Like Deepti is a fantastic cinematographer, but is the staunch feminist who thought shooting me from these low angles will be the empowered angle. and I would be like, "Arey, top shot likhna, thoda sundar to lagu." Everywhere I look like I'm swollen. As it is, I'm traveling, I'm doing the line production, I'm literally struggling to, earn money, put it back in the film, earn money, put
Right.
it back in the film. And I just realized that all around the world, there's funding for such films. There are
Yeah.
people who are like, oh my God, you could have got 5 people, you could have got this trust fund, this thing, performing arts. And in
Mm.
India, even in lockdown, uh, every second day we're expected to go on television to sing, to uplift spirits. And, music is
Correct.
so for free. Everybody's downloading
Correct.
music for free, artists for free. I'm like, I am one of the few people who has this, I worked hard. Everything
Yeah.
is hard, one. Yet the whole community is staring into an abyss. We just
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen in the coming days. And
Right.
music and musicians are very devalued in a culture like
Have
ours.
you
We
have
have
you all
no.
start? Are you all having those conversations? Have you? I mean, so much of your job is live performances. I mean, that whole
Yeah.
industry, I would
Is
imagine,
dead.
is going to take a while before it bounces back.
So, Rajiv, we are in this peculiar space where we talk about joining the global world and entertain,
Yeah.
but there are no residuals, copyrights, or royalties
Royalties.
for
Yeah.
creators. Okay, right now, music for commission is also on the all-time worst because it's all remixes and safe,
Correct.
regurgitated bullshit that
Absolutely.
films are acquiring.
Yeah.
So people like us who create original music are actually at the worst, and yet we have this pride saying, what is our legacy? We are going to leave back behind what? Remixes. We've got to create our own music, but we haven't found a way to monetize it, and the only way to do it was on stage.
Yeah.
So anyway, writers and lyricists, and I mean, I'm taking, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Composers, we don't even understand their value. So we
Yeah.
don't have philanthropists, and we don't have the government having a fund. Angela Merkel put out a 50 million fund for the creative
Mm.
community for musicians. New Zealand put it out. We don't hope in hell that, a country like ours, which has so many more pressing needs, will. And yet artists are the creative custodians of civilization, so to say.
True.
However grand that sounds, it's true.
Right.
It's a treasure house, and the folk artists and musicians, I mean, we've been hearing really sad stories in the last week of people committing suicide. One
Yeah.
harmonium player has just killed himself saying, I won't beg, but I don't know how to go by. My bandmates have just left Bombay. They've somehow done a sharing of a car and reached their parents' homes because they can't pay rents. And as much as I would like to help them, I have been doing fundraisers, managed to raise lakhs in that fundraiser for the daily migrant labor. Yet those questions don't stop. आप क्या कर रहे हो? आपने कितना दिया? भाई मैं आर्टिस्ट हूँ, मैं इतना ही कर सकती हूँ. There has to be an understanding as a society that artists need their, we need, we are also looking into tough times. And the film, for example, Shut Up Sona, wiped out I literally put everything into it. But
Yeah.
honestly, there's no lachari, or I'm proud of it.
But really, more power. I think it's important what you're doing. I feel like the film will help put a lot of things into perspective. I think that I think it's very easy to follow a narrative that you read on social media. Oh, she's a rabble rouser. Oh, she's a troublemaker. But I think that the film really does clear up a lot of that. Thank you, Sona. Thank you. I am going to ask you. I know you said that these days everyone is just asking singers to sing free mein, but I am going to ask you because you have this incredible voice.
I will sing for you.
Thank you. Will you sing Jia Lage now, because it's my favorite? Just 2 lines if you like.
I will, and I'm going to take a screenshot of us because I just learned how to do it. I have just.
Oh, okay. I still don't know.
I got it, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So Jia Lage na. Okay, but this, let me try and do this. There is no reverb, guys. Please note. It's going to be raw.
Setup. It's lovely. Yeah.
No, it's just there's no reverb. Reverb helps. I'm going to do it. It's for my talking
voice. It's the voice, Sona. It's all the voice.
Mane tera. 1 minute. Is it too loud for you?
No, it's lovely.
Yeah. Mane tera jo rog hai, mohe samajh na aaye, पास है जो सब छोड़ के, दूर को पास बुलाए. इतने बातचीत के बाद गाना नहीं गाते हैं. जिया लागे ना तुम बिन मोरा जिया लागे ना, तुम बिन मोरा जिया लागे ना, तुम बिन मोरा जिया लागे ना, तुम बिन मोरा.
Thank you
Then if you
so
want me to
much.
sing more, but
Thank
I
you
know we are
so
short of
much. That
time.
was absolutely stunning. That was lovely. It's a great song, and you really put life into that with your voice. Thank you so much, and all the best. Thank you for using your voice in many ways to shed light on what is important. It's going to be a hard journey. Those that call out, and those that fight for the truth and fight for what's important. In their lifetimes, it's often hard, but you're paving a way. So thank you, and more power, and can't wait for the film to go out widely, because I think that it'll put a lot of things into perspective, and it'll really show us what can change, why things need to change, and it'll show what you've been doing, for a while now. So thank you, Sona. All the best, and looking forward to listening to lots more from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Thank
I'm counting on the younger generation, and they have been calling me in. So Sand ki aankh mein maine Baby Gold
Correct.
gaya hai.
Baby Gold
I'm
is
not
such an
out of
incredible
work.
song. Correct. Correct.
I'm not out of work like people would like me to think,
You won't be.
or feel happy for. I will find my allies. I can promise you that. Okay,
More
bye
power.
bye.
Thank you. Thank you.